Hi people. The last couple of weeks have been difficult for many of us for various reasons, from some global crises to individual problems. At those times, the best thing to do is to take a break, if you can, and either read a book, watch a movie, or a TV show to refine your inner peace. For the most part, the shows that we often lean to on these special occasions are light-hearted ones that would amp up our spirit and bring a smile to our faces. Heartland is a great example in that respect, since it's impossible to not be happy whenever we see the faces of those brilliant characters. Unfortunately, though, we didn't make this wise decision and watch Heartland. Instead, we followed our hearts and decided to watch the season finale of 1883, which was brilliant, but also the worst possible option when it comes to lifting our morale. The episode wretched us, tore our hearts apart, and made our eyes filled with lots of tears, to the point that we had a tragedy overload and had to take a break in every 20 minutes. By this point, we all know that 1883 is a very difficult show to watch. The series isn't only a prequel to one of the boldest, and arguably the darkest, shows of all time, Yellowstone, but also taking place in the 19th century U.S., which might be one of the most exciting but also dangerous periods in the country's history. Naturally, throughout the series, we jump from one tragedy to another, as the average life expectancy gets shorter and shorter for every single character. At the beginning of the show, we witnessed some of the side characters losing their lives, which was shocking for a show that just started. Then, the circle started to get narrower with each episode, and our worry of losing the main character gradually increased. When Innes got killed, we were devastated, but also relieved to see that the Duttons were still fine, despite everything. Unfortunately, though, it was clear things couldn't go so smoothly for this family either, and the show was bound to have a tragic ending for one of them by the end of Season 1. Well, we're sad to say that we were right, and one of the Duttons, perhaps the Dutton whom we cared about the most, got killed. Yes, you guessed it right, we're talking about Elsa, that bright young woman whose inspiring story has been impactful on all of us. From now on, Elsa will not be a part of 1883, which means that the entire structure and narrative of the show need to be changed, since she was the narrator and the protagonist whose story was the centerpiece at all times. Now, we have to focus on yet another character for the rest of the show, but we have no idea who can be the perfect candidate to replace Elsa since she was a pretty unique personality. Fortunately, there will be a lot of time to think about what will happen next. Therefore, today, we decided to focus on the main themes of the season finale instead, which were farewells and deaths. Throughout the episode, we watched our group being divided into small groups and saying goodbye to the others for the last time. In the previous episode, we already watched the majority of the Germans being massacred by an attack from the Native Americans, which took place due to a misunderstanding. In this episode, the remaining few were struggling with injuries and the pain of losing their loved ones. This combination of sorrows led their temper to reach high levels as well, which caused the group to be divided into three and go separate ways. While the Germans moved toward Oregon, Wade decided to go back to Texas since there was no need to drive the cattle anymore. Duttons, Shay, and Thomas, on the other hand, moved toward Montana to spend the winter there. This moment of separation was the first one where we witnessed an emotional goodbye scene. Elsa and Wade expressed how much they appreciated each other's company throughout their time together. In that scene, we saw that despite both sides knowing they will not see each other ever again, they were sure that each other's memory will continue to live on within their hearts. This is a difficult concept to recognize since we often mourn after people even before they die, but don't realize it. Once we stop seeing each other with the knowledge that it's very unlikely for our past to come together again, we start to mourn after them as if they have died, since for us, they are already dead. For the rest of the episode, the Duttons and Shay hold on to a similar attitude toward Elsa. Even though they attempted to pretend as if she will never die, they knew for sure that her time on Earth was very limited and thus couldn't help themselves but to mourn after them. It reached a point that even Elsa started to mourn for herself, since she was sure she will be dead soon and won't be able to see her family and friends ever again. The initial realization moment was, of course, highly painful. And yet, afterward, she found peace in saying goodbye, since she knew that being alive doesn't necessarily mean that you need to be alive as flesh and bone. As long as you live in people's memories, you're alive. What do you think about Elsa's death? Do you think the show will be able to recover from her death? Do you think her death was handled properly? Will you continue to watch the series despite Elsa's death? Do you think Elsa will continue to be a relevant part of the show even after her death? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe and share the video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.